Okay, that's real nice one.
Maybe we should just go off and do this on our own, Bridget.
Maybe we should, honestly.
Unionize?
I'm kind of feeling it, yeah.
If we all start a new podcast, Lotte can't stop us.
You can't unionize. I don't pay you. You're not employees.
Oh, so we can just leave whenever we want. All right.
Yeah,
Sounds
actually.
See ya.
I fucking hate both of them so much. I hate both of them so goddamn much. I mean, you know what? Now I'm able to just talk about whatever I want until they get back, which is fucking phenomenal, by the way. So this is something that happens all the time. Like, this is what I deal with after, like, during every episode. It takes 20 minutes to get this shit, like, round them up. It's like herding cats. Actually, like herding cats. I need to constantly remind them when the episode is starting. I need to constantly be like, hey, we need to start, so let's stop getting off topic. The amount of stuff I have to cut from every episode because people start rambling and get off topic, or people like Bridget will just say the F slur, that happens fairly frequently, so I need to constantly beep it or cut out the entire chunk of audio. It's so frustrating. So genuinely frustrating. Are you two fucking kidding me right now?
What, do you not see the sign? Like,
oh my
Get
god.
the fuck out, dude.
Oh my god. We need to start the fucking episode.
We literally just started it.
you're interrupting us.
Yeah, we're gonna have to edit this out now.
Oh my fucking god. Hello everyone, and welcome to the DigiVerse DiveCast, the only Digimon podcast that's just also covering the fucking webcomic now, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, that like we're all very boring people, so we're not going to talk about our weeks anymore because who cares? Instead, because as it turns out, this just happens to line up. The Digimon Liberator webcomic is officially started, and it's going to be uploaded every 2 weeks on Thursday, which is 2 days before we record, like consistently. So, fuck it, we may as well just cover each chapter as they come out, because, you know, why not? It's more interesting. It's actual TCG content, which is nice. It's our wheelhouse anyway.
I love gaming.
I too love gaming. So, yeah. Chapter 1 was uploaded on the 25th. To, let's call it mixed response. Not because of the quality of the content in the comic itself, but the quality of its translation.
Bad.
It's bad.
It's bad.
So
it actively made me like halt enjoying this as much as I could, because I like, it's hard for me to enjoy like the exchange between characters when I'm just like, why do you talk like this?
So
like actively, I just kind of ended up like being okay with what was out here, because I'm like, I didn't like what any of the words that were coming out of their fucking mouths were.
So thankfully, I'm diseased and can very easily just replace the words in the bubble with ones I think are more fun based on the expressions they're making in panel. So I don't have that issue, thankfully. But yeah, the actual quality of the translation itself is garbage. Well, I shouldn't say garbage, because like, as far as I know, there aren't any outright mistakes. It's just, it's an AI translation with an editing
it's
pass.
still a bad, like, I'm
It's
still
extremely inelegant.
Yeah. Like when hang on, I need to grab the fucking line that was killing me.
Oh no, yeah, like the translation itself is readable, and there aren't any mistakes as far as I know, which is like the absolute fucking baseline for a direct translation of anything. Unfortunately, that's not good enough.
When a character is asking the phone by "Who may I ask is calling," which is like, this dude meant to be 19 or fucking 70. Like, what is this?
Yeah, 19-year-olds don't answer the phone saying, "Who may I ask is calling."
I do this all the time. I'm 22, but actually, I'm almost 23. Anyways.
You do not answer the phone like that. Fuck off. You're lying.
Who may I ask is calling? I say this every time.
But yeah, it's really shoddy. So funny enough, every piece of text that is like a graphic, not a speech bubble, has clearly been given more attention and was actually translated by a translator because they can't just run that through a machine.
Which I think is the worst part because it's very clear, even because like
You
they,
have someone on this.
Yeah.
yeah, and then they have to localize the names correctly because they're on the fucking cards. So they clearly have someone going through the like fucking script and
Hey, you just stop. Like, you
replacing
just tell them to stop
replacing
halfway
what
through or something. Like, what? What are you doing?
replacing whatever DeepL translator fucking put in for Pedudramon.
Yeah, it's so this is very clearly it's a machine translation with a single editing pass, if we even want to call it that.
I'm not confident saying half of those bubbles even got one.
I mean, like, there's no actual grammatical errors, and like you can read it and it makes sense, which makes me think at least a person went over it and made sure you could read it properly, which I would consider technically an editing pass. There was no actual editing of the script, but there was a quality check. Let's call it that, a loose quality check.
I'm sorry. I'm so hesitant to give this like any form of credit at all, just because it's like I feel like doing that like opens the fucking door to just like shit like that, like AI translations like this being more acceptable, and I can't. I think from most quality standpoints, this is still a very unforgivable translation.
I mean, if you want to like read it, just read the Japanese version of it if you can. It's like that's just available on the site. So you can just go read that.
So what if I don't know how to read?
Like
Uh,
in general,
Yeah.
I
Do they have like an emoji version or a wingdings version?
um
I don't.
no,
I would assume not. No.
Damn.
no,
All right.
no. Sorry. Anyway, a bunch of promo art for it started. So this is like the new promo art for the like main series.
This is some great art that I can see.
You can. It's oh, never mind. I had to stop the screen share because you two fucks. There's your fucking screen share.
What I want to know is what the. I guess I'll talk about it at the end of the talking about the chapter.
Yeah. So the fucking big takeaways from this art specifically is I guess the Ghostmon girl is the tertiary protagonist. Which
Oh yeah,
unexpected, but
I love women.
that's awesome, Leon. So yeah, she's there. In the chapter itself, there was actually a very interesting panel that as another knock against the fucking English translation, anyone who read this comment in English couldn't see. So there's a panel where Arisa is talking about something and she exclaims, I think this is when she's talking about how Shoto didn't even consider like playing something or playing Liberator with her. In the background, you can see she has a framed photo of herself and the girl who gets the Ghostmon. So apparently they're friends. You couldn't see this in the English version of the comic because they had to make the text bubble bigger to fit her dialogue, and they covered up the photo. Which is yeah.
Man.
So I understand why they made the text bubble bigger because they clearly have like this is I think very clearly made in like Clip Studio Paint. I think this is using Clip Studio Paint's like comic stuff function because I've used it before and I can like see similarities in it. So if they if they just have the Clip Studio Paint files right then and there, they're gonna fucking use them. Whereas like in normal like typesetting, like scanlations, like they can't adjust the size of the bubble, so they just sort of make it work. Which I think that's probably what they should have done here, but they didn't.
Yeah, no, I would have just because like this line is clearly not like this is just an exclamation of like a single thing, but like her it's like a whole ass sentence in English, something along the lines of but you didn't even like it's fucking insane. It's so long in English. It's oh my god, let me see if I can.
Something tells me that this probably could have been like the line probably could have been shortened if like a human wrote it instead of
Yeah.
an overly verbose AI model. But you know,
The line in English is "You didn't even think about it," which is like that's probably overly
see,
verbose for this.
see, even doing in that sense. Why is that there? You need that there? I don't
Yeah,
think you need that there.
you don't need it there, but it's the even is kind of it adds a little personality to the line of it just being like even more of a whatever. We're not gonna talk fucking. No, we're not gonna talk translation here. This was in the second half of the chapter 0 that they uploaded and didn't tell anyone about, by the way. Anyway, the big thing is like so Ari said like or also right before we talk about the actual like comic itself. Another very important thing happened. They gave official announcements for the web novel, which
Okay, here's the thing I'm actually excited about.
yeah. So this is the promotional image for the web novel. We have Yuki and her Impmon, as well as the other characters. So Zenith is in the background there. We have the mysterious white-haired girl. We have Winner, who is the fucking kid off to the right there. Yeah, he has Fun Beamon as a partner.
I love Fun Pokemon.
So when it was initially revealed that Yuki was the protagonist and she had an Impmon, the immediate assumption was that we were going to get a Beelstarmon line because Beelstarmon is also included in the EX7 set of the card game, which is like partially the Liberator set. So people are just like, oh, Three Musketeers will be in there, so Beelstar will be in there, and maybe that'll be the Impmon to like tie it in. But nope. Instead, we're getting an entirely new, entirely original line for Impmon, and it fucking rules.
Hell yeah. Giantmon, your mom lets you have 3 lines.
So yeah,
Also,
Impmon,
that's just a fucking Guilmon line, like
yep.
plainly.
It is the Guilmon line with the purple coloration and a very clear like punk metal aesthetic, which is really cool and looks significantly better than the entire Guilmon line, in my opinion.
Okay, no, hang on, you're going too far now.
No, but I do
Slow
like
down there.
I do like all 3 of these significantly better than their Guilmon line counterparts, though.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Really?
The War Groundmon one, yes. The other 2, I'm about equal on.
Really? I really like them.
I mean, I really like them too. Gilmon's my like favorite line, so
Oh, well,
yeah.
yeah, you're like biased and whatever.
Did you like literally forget about the little guy on Bridget's head?
He's literally
No.
right here.
I didn't forget about him. I just I
think
I know she's a
I
Guilmon
think
fan. I just thought it was more of a Gallantmon fan than anything.
We did that whole top 12 thing. Gilmon was there.
Oh yeah, Guilmon himself was there. I mean, I'm not talking about Guilmon specifically because that's just Impmon here, which yeah, I meant the evolution specifically.
I mean, I really like Megidramon and Gramon's cool. So like, I don't know. The War Gramon's always been like the weaker part of that line, so I do find this to be a general improvement over that
Mhm.
one. But the other 2, yeah, I'm about equal on personally.
Okay, fair enough.
Which is again, that's my favorite line, so it's pretty fucking high praise all the same. So, you know.
So, very interesting thing about this line that I noticed someone point out in like a response to the tweet that revealed them or whatever. The red like neckerchief that Impmon has is in the entire line because on the champion it's just around his neck. On the perfect level, it is around the tail, and then it makes up like the waistcoat on the ultimate,
hell yeah.
which I thought was really neat. That little
Yeah, that's
splash of
cool.
red. Yeah.
I do wonder if this is going to like either like it's going to just stay like oh the Megidramon's just going to stay like the last part of this, if it's going to
Mhm.
be like oh there's going to be like an Immon themed Galamon thing, or if it's just he gets over the Megidramon phase and just turns into either Beelzemon or Beelstarmon.
The one I would like the most is the punk metal version of Gallimon. That's like
Yeah, I mean
the
me too.
yeah, that's my ideal outcome. Second best outcome, I think, is just the Megidramon is just the ultimate for the line, and it just stays that way.
Yeah.
Which
That would
I
also
think
probably be my preference.
is probably gonna be the case because they had like a splash image of Shoto, Arisa, and Yuki, and it had Zafagamon, Sendramon, and then that ultimate behind Yuki. So it kind of
Okay.
seems like what it's gonna be is it'll just stick as that. We don't know the name.
It's
for
all
it.
it's also ever since how fucking poorly Ghost Game was handled in the TCG specifically.
Oh my god.
They have they've seemingly just elected to like basically reveal the full line immediately for like because like we knew the entire Lugamon line before,
Yeah.
like immediately we knew. Although I guess there is like Fenri Lugamon Takami Kazuchi mode, which wasn't revealed until way later. So I guess that could still be that, but I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. It'll be like in a later set if they do more Liberator support and like.
Which you'd assume they would. It's kind of the Digimon card game thing. It'd be weird if it
Yep.
only got like one Digimon card game set.
It
That,
sure
that,
it sure is.
I don't think that would be the case.
It sure is the Digimon card game thing. You know, that thing that's really popular in the West, so much so that they're expediting the release of sets to catch us up to the Japanese format. And yet,
Yeah. I'm very excited for one of those special release booster sets to be like EX3 tier bad, by the way. Very exciting.
yep, very exciting. But yeah, so as far as the like contents of the actual chapter, Shoto, like there's like the actual like lines themselves are have literally no personality in them at all, which is really, really unfortunate. However, thankfully the art is so fucking good. The art is so good. You
Let
can
them go.
gather a lot of the characters' personalities just from the art and like the expressions they make, which is the singular saving grace for people like me who are just like fucking sucking it up and dealing with it.
So
Admittedly,
true.
I did go watch I did go glance over the Japanese version of the comic as well to see if I could glean any stuff from the way the lines were formatted. And there was some stuff like Arisa ends all her like has a lot of dene at the end of her line, so that kind of shit, very teenage girl. Which of course doesn't come across at all in the actual English script because it's just fucking machine translation.
I think like English as a language should adopt some of the the weird stuff they had penned onto in certain characters in anime and shit. Like
What like
Dagyaa.
yeah, no,
I
people in English should start saying Dagyaa, you're right.
I know
it's
I am.
it's
I know I am.
it's those kind of space quirks are like they're kind of impossible to translate in
Yeah.
English.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
That's
yeah.
why I think we should just take them.
Mhm.
because
And
I remember, and this is a very specific example, but follow me on this. There's a PS3 game called Star Ocean 4: The Last Hope,
I knew you were going to bring up exactly this example.
where there's like a little character who has that kind of speech quirk. Where they attempt to translate this by making her go K at the end of all of her at the end of all of her lines. The character is super fucking annoying, and I wish to squeeze the life out of her.
Yeah,
So it really it's one of those things that really just does not track in the English language at all.
because yeah, the majority of the time, the actual like quirk is just like it doesn't mean anything. It's more about the inflection than anything, or it's
Dagyaa.
just like they say some fucking ancient ass like we're talking like samurai period like grammar with how these people talk, which of course, that's probably easier to translate than something like adding yo at the end of every single sentence like that one character from Star Ocean did. Limmel, I think her name was,
Yeah.
which is more just like an assertion. Like it's so hard to explain. It doesn't make any fucking sense in English. You can't translate it. I think that'll be forever the shining example of don't even try is fucking Limmel from Star Ocean.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey.
Anyway, so yeah, Shoto and Arisa get into Lacuna, which is the name of the the Lacuna's like the name of the world Liberator takes place in. And they're in specifically the Emerald Colonies. Like this is like after a time skip. Shoto and Arisa have been playing Liberator for like 3 months at this point. Um, and it's revealed that Shoto is generally pretty fucking good at card games. Unfortunately, in Liberator, he gets a little overstimulated by the battles and the way they play out, so he sucks.
Bitch, me too.
And
we just call that performance anxiety.
Yep, that legitimately seems like what it is. So, like, he can't get used to the way battles play out in Liberator, and it makes him genuinely worse at the game. Arisa talks about how he's usually much better than her when they're just playing card games, like, on paper. He also is really bad with the UI of the game. Like, it's stated that he has no problems with, like, his phone and other general technology, but for some reason he can't wrap his head around the way Liberator works.
That just means it's a bad UI. If all of your users can't use it, like, pretty much effortlessly.
It's just him, apparently. This is a Shoto problem.
So he's secretly a 60-year-old man?
Maybe. The most important takeaway from the first chapter is that Shoto is fucking adorable. Like, he's genuinely just really cute, which is bizarre. Was not expecting that out of him at all. He chose Muchomon as his partner, which is,
Mucho gusta.
very, very interesting rep for his initial partner, even though it's immediately being replaced by the end of the chapter. So they have a friendly duel. Shoto gets rinsed. There's the really funny shot of Tobu Catmon using its ability, and it's just fucking eye lasers.
This is what it feels like to get hit in security by jamming.
There's only one thing to do when you have a Digimon with jamming. Swing security, baby.
Gomamon going out into the field and suddenly getting eye lasers.
So after their friendly little bout, something flies past Shoto, and he's very confused as to what it is. And then there's a terrorist attack. Like, there's a massive explosion. And afterward...
Still in the digital world.
Yes, this is still within Lacuna. So a mysterious woman flies past, and it's the purple-haired girl from, like, the back of the promotional poster. Or, like, the white-haired girl with, like, the black dress or whatever. And what I can only describe as the love at first sight trope is displayed. It's a really bizarre sequence of events. So, like, Shoto locks eyes with her. There's the fucking sparkles and the pink background and everything. And, like, she looks back and he gets all embarrassed. And then she continues flying past him and he tries calling out to her. Really bizarre. Not how I was expecting this character to be introduced.
I think the answer is that this girl, whatever she is, whoever she is literally like he's gone onto a website and created like his perfect like date, and she's like
this is
match for like that, you know?
You're basically calling her his real doll. Stop it.
You know, he didn't create her. She just happens to match like every one of the.
So, does the information I'm pretty sure this character is going to be an AI better or worse with that theory?
Worse.
Much worse, actually. Like, way worse.
Because in the poster, she's floating.
That would imply that you're literally giving sentient life to fuck it. Like, come
also,
on.
there's a picture. I think there's a thing of her in the prologue where she's like upside down and she's got like chains around her and shit.
Yeah. Like, yeah, she's
strapped in the game.
Yeah, she's floating and a bunch of other stuff. So I think she's very clearly meant to be like an AI or something along those lines.
Or like an administrator, or, something.
Yeah. Related to Lacuna itself and like the game of Liberator. But after she fucking flies by, one of the battle NPCs like emerges from a blown up wall. We can assume that's probably what caused the explosion, or at least was thrown by the explosion. And then it like basically just immediately goes into what is called a situation battle with Shoto. And apparently what situation battles is sometimes battle NPCs will have additional rules to make it more difficult for the actual like human player.
Literally just the triple triad, like, additional rules when you go
Yeah.
to a random match to an NPC in a map, yeah.
So it's like a really interesting thing. Arisa realizes that there are not supposed to be specifically she says there aren't supposed to be situation battle NPCs in this area. I think there's just not supposed to be battle NPCs in general. And you know, it was just a fucking this seems like one of the like this is a really long line and it's kind of like bizarre. I think this is one of those lines that the AI really fucked up and then no one bothered fucking editing. Because god damn it. But essentially, the situation battle is like quickly explained. It's like, hey, yeah, sometimes there are additional rules, like the opponent already starting with the Digimon or some other stuff. So essentially, this battle starts, and the opponent already has a Digimon on field, and not only that, but the Digimon has Rush. So
Which I feel like if the Digimon was already on field, it wouldn't need Rush, but that's just, like, I feel like my own semantics.
Yeah, I mean,
Because like,
no,
if your turn starts
it literally depends on whether that still counts on whether or not the
yeah,
Digimon has been played this turn.
mhm.
Which
So very interesting
We're
thing
gonna
about this
tear
web.
this webcomic apart.
Well, a very interesting thing about this webcomic, it's clearly written for people who are already playing the game because they don't fucking explain the rules of the game. Like, they have a little mock battle with Arisa and Shoto, and none of the real rules are explained except for the fact that no, I think the 5 shields is only explained during the situation battle.
It's, like, alluded to during the first battle, but yeah.
That kind of makes me, like, confused, though, because it's like so you're making this for people already in and buying the product? Like, I kind of figured the entire idea behind the TCG, like, well, not anime, but, you know, like, anime type thing, you know, like, it's usually to get people in.
My assumption is that the friendly duel was just to, like, show, like, random Digimon and their partners and just, like, show what, like, security attacks look like and the option. It seems more like they're going to introduce the rules piecemeal and explain them as they happen rather than have, like, a drawn out duel dedicated to going over everything step by step. Um, Especially when they already just have the tutorial videos on their website. It also kinda seems like the situation battle is going to explain more of the actual rules as it happens. So, hopefully that's the
Everyone's gonna
case.
be like, "You don't know how to fucking play the game, you stupid idiot."
Oh, no, I imagine because like,
But he explicitly does.
yeah, I mean, yeah, he knows how to play the game. One of Shoto's, situation rules is that all his cards are blank because 'cause they're just like, "Oh, yeah, by the way, some of the situation rules include things like you could, like, have cards forced upon you to play with." And it's like, "Oh my god, alright." So I imagine that's how they're going to make battles in this have, like, any stakes at all. Because
Or at
like
least, like, variety.
yeah, because like, otherwise, we would literally just be watching Shoto play the same game over and over again against, like, random things that are gonna get steamrolled by the Zafagamon deck.
Yeah, there's probably gonna be, like, situations where he's, like, less security or more security or the opponent has
Mhm.
more stuff like that.
Yeah, like, you have to OTK this game or you can't.
Oh, that would be a fun one.
Yeah.
You can't play, like, level 5s or something, so he has to
Yeah.
find a way
Or
to
memory
go from,
cost
like,
is,
Grand
like,
Guild
doubled or
to
something stupid like
yeah.
that.
Mhm. Yeah. That's probably gonna be their way of, like, not having to just write a bunch of standard Digimon card duels while
Which
also
is
being able.
honestly kinda smart, let's be
No,
real.
yeah, I think this way of going about it is definitely more interesting from, like,
But
a reading standpoint.
I don't like we don't have, like, the full scope on, like, what
Yeah,
those rules will be, so we can't say it's, like, a 10
yeah.
out of 10, like, idea or not yet, but,
Like I said, this
you
first
know.
chapter was super cool. I think everything that happens in is really interesting.
I do
Yeah.
hope that there's gonna be at least, like, a couple of, like, standard Digimon games. I feel like having none at all but I don't know.
Oh, yeah, no, I imagine once we get into, like so I
The
imagine because the situation battles are only versus NPCs. Like, when they actually start fighting each
Yeah.
other, I think those are just normal duels.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
that
makes
that was
sense.
what I yeah, my initial thought.
But yeah, so the fight starts and the guy immediately takes out one of his security, which is just a nothing security because like the Digimon lives and it wasn't like an option card or anything. And then because it was already played, the turn of like he still has the memory, so he just evolves it into Pale Dramon. He had a Bakulomon. That's like the thing he had on field immediately, and then he evolves it into Pale Dramon at the actual end of his turn. And so
Good
Shoto's
Digimon line.
Shoto's turn starts, and he's just like, "My fucking cards are blank. What do you want me to do?" And then Terramon shows up. Terramon with the only properly translated line in the entire thing, because it's entirely like art on the page. There's no speech bubble.
Yeah, I was like, wow, his lines of personality. That's weird. The only one.
So yeah.
Do you think that if you played one of the blank cards, like Missing No or some shit would show up?
Just tries it anyway and sees what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the events of the first chapter of Liberator. Like I said, excited to see where it goes. I hope Bamco burns to the ground.
True. Whenever I learn Japanese, they should just hire me. They won't, but they should.
Yeah. Essentially, if you guys don't want to read it because it sucks and you probably should avoid reading it in English, just watch DiveCast and I'll explain to you what happens. There you go.
That's a wonderful way to experience the webcomic.
I feel like I disagree, but you know,
I was being sarcastic.
I know.
I just at least at the very least look at the Japanese strips, because goddamn, the art's good. Like this art deserves to be appreciated. So at the very least, go read the Japanese strips for the art.
Do we know who the artist is?
Read Japanese, which is, you know, pretty far shot, but hey.
I mean, you know, like you could just look at the art and appreciate it, and then have my summary a week later. This is fine. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Excited for the novel to take. Oh yeah, also the novel is releasing next month and will be released every 3 months.
And will be machine translated.
Yeah. So, but don't worry. Bridget's retranslating. Well, Bridget's retranslating the novel, and then I'll be helping with, and I'll be doing quality check and editing on that as well. So, at the very least, there will be a good translation of that. Thumbs up, everybody.
Eventually.
You know what? Fuck it. With the mere audience we have, send a message to Bamco. Email them. Tell them this is fucking bullshit, and they should give a proper translation to Liberator.
See, and then if you start translating stuff, you can make a Patreon, and then just like bundle it into the.
I think Bamco would have a problem with us making money off of retranslating stuff they're putting up.
We just say it's for the podcast.
No.
That's lying, and that's illegal. I'm pretty sure.
At that point, I'm pretty sure we could get charged for like what, fraud or something.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just straight up illegal.
I'm not opposed to lying.
I'm opposed to getting into jail, is what I'm opposed to.
Unfortunately, the government is.
They should like change their priorities.
Okay.
Actually, though.
Anyway, we got to talk about the actual episodes, because holy shit.
Yeah. I thought this was an anime podcast.
It is, but don't worry. A lot of that Liberator discussion will be cut. Okay, so moving into episode 22, Brave Evolution X Vmon. This episode is pretty funny until the second half of it, and it's the worst shit in the world. Let's go, baby. Okay, so basically the episode starts with just a bunch of cute vignettes of all the kids, you know, doing normal stuff, and their Digimon are around. Nothing like really important. All that happens. Miyako makes a sinister potion and it explodes.
Me when I make a sinister potion and it explodes.
Hikari's doing ballet now. I guess that's something she does.
I don't think that's something that she ever does.
They're like really awkwardly doing it in one side of the gym while the other half are the boys playing basketball, because you know I love fucking.
Yep.
Can anyone that's ever been to a Japanese middle school get in the comments and tell us if they did ballet in the gym?
So Patamon and Tailmon start dancing along, and Chibimon adamantly refuses to dance. He's like, "No, I'm not gonna fucking dance. I'm gonna watch Daisuke play basketball."
And then they broke out into song like High School Musical.
Yeah, exactly. That happened. Anyway, it's Takeru and Daisuke are playing basketball. Daisuke fucking embarrasses himself in front of girls. By the way, he embarrasses himself in front of girls.
Very important.
Yeah, it's fucking pathetic.
fucking embarrassing, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
The
I
complete
would never
loser.
embarrass myself in front of a girl.
Nah,
thought you
definitely
were-
not.
I thought you were gay.
Oh yeah, why would you
I'm
care?
That's why I said I would never embarrass myself in front of a bunch of girls, because I just wouldn't be embarrassed.
I
I don't
guess
think
that's how that
you're.
works.
Is that how it works? Do you get to decide?
I just wouldn't be embarrassed.
I-
Because embarrassed is an emotion that you can have.
I guess so. Whatever.
I'm sure people might get embarrassed on my behalf, but that's not my problem.
Fair enough. So anyway, the kids have volunteered to rebuild like all the cities and everything that was destroyed by the Kaiser. So they're doing their thing. They're all just helping rebuild the cities. I think it's really neat that they're like there's any follow up at all to the sheer destruction that Ken wrought. To where they take a few episodes to like, because this is like several episodes where they're just like helping rebuild various towns, which is really neat. I like it.
Yeah.
While plot happens in the background.
Yeah. They divvy up a bunch of areas for each person to, help rebuild. Hikari and Takaru realize that like they shouldn't be able to come to the digital world anymore cuz like the problem was solved. And generally they're only able to go to the digital world when there is some kind of imminent danger that requires the help of the Digidestined. Like right now they're helping rebuild, but that's not like required of them. That's something they just
They
volunteered
literally,
to do.
they volunteered for.
So they come to the conclusion that there must be something else that's about to happen, and they like should remain on guard for whenever that problem pops up.
Yeah, because it was established at the end of Adventure, like, hey, if the Digidestined are needed, the digital world might actively like deny you and try
Yeah.
to get you to fuck out.
They
Man,
need
the
to-
fucking digital world's antivirus sucks ass. All it does is just say, let's bring in some humans and not do any of the work ourselves.
It says let's bring in some humans, but only when problems have already started.
Yeah.
Like,
it is not preventative.
They could at least, like, I don't know, send an email sometimes and be like, hey, your
Hey,
digital
listen, I
world,
think
your
some
digital world
stuff-
has virus.
it could at least be like, hey, I think something might be brewing here. Can you like nah, just like when the villains have already gone like most of the way through their plan, that's when the digital world decides, okay, yeah, we can let those guys in now.
Yggdrasil practices something called reactive medicine.
So they're a pure healer, not a shield healer.
Christ.
I'm going to turn this into a 14 podcast.
No, absolutely not. Daisuke and Vmon start fantasizing about like being closer to Hikari and Tailmon. Apparently Vmon has a crush on Tailmon. This is something that hasn't been established and I don't think ever actually matters.
Apparently, I don't think it's actually like a thing. I think they were like, we need conflict.
Yeah, no, I think just you saying that alone means you put more thought into that than the writers did.
Because, like, yeah, the entire premise here is that Vmon is trying to evolve so he can impress Tailmon, which is just like, huh? Okay, we're okay, yeah, sure. This never comes up again. It doesn't matter.
Either that, or it's like he doesn't actually have like a real reason to want to digivolve, so he just comes up with a bullshit one.
Makes one up for the sake of matching Daisuke.
Hey,
He would do this.
He would do
Yeah.
this. They talk about Ultra Angemon again.
I'm glad they brought that back. I'm glad
Yeah.
that wasn't just fucking forgotten. That was fun.
A bunch of a bear that is clearly a bunch of Numemon in costume approaches and tries to kill both of them, and Daisuke starts screaming, "Oh my god, Vmon, we're in danger! You've got to digivolve!" Vmon fails to digivolve, and then blames Vmon for that. Daisuke's like weirdly kind of a dick this episode. It's bizarre.
I don't know. There's like that. I mean, that was to try to provoke Vmon for like the plan B. That's
Yeah.
what that was. But then there's also like the bit where like the Newman are like, "Oh man, sorry, we fucked this up," and he's like, "Nah, that was on me. Sorry, my idea was bad."
It's
So
very, very weird. This episode's fucking bizarre.
What
That's
a
one way to put
fucking
it.
there's another reason why like that I can only talk about at the end of this episode, but like this episode was also a reminder. Oh yeah, that was probably like one of the reasons I didn't care for like XVmon as a kid. One literally follows up with the fucking after Magnamon like an episode later. Two, this is his debut episode.
Yep, sure is.
Not a strong start. I wouldn't say.
So
No, absolutely not.
Daisuke provokes Vmon, who begins chasing him. He then tries to murder the both of them by cutting a bridge they're both standing on, and to try to get Vmon to evolve because they're in danger. This also fails, and they fall into the river and are swept away. Daisuke explains that he was just doing all this shit to try and get Vmon to evolve, and then randomly a bunch of rocks start tumbling down toward them, which is not part of Daisuke's plan, so they both start running.
And honestly, like, I think up to like this next part is like where the episode is like, all right, it's a little like subpar, but it's not bad.
Yeah, it's totally fine. And then they come across the Tortamon.
And then the
that's
fucking guy starts
pissing.
pissing.
Someone really wanted to make this Tortamon piss.
He's really happy about it too, in a way that's like, is this like a thing for you? Like, what the fuck?
They constantly bring up the fact that the Tortamon was happily pissing. They keep hammering this fact home.
Why?
I don't know. Anyway,
For what purpose?
I'm basically going to skip to the end of the episode because nothing that matters in the next 5 minutes, or nothing that happens in the next 5 minutes matters. Like literally.
Yeah,
at all.
it's just kind of a bad, unfunny like chase sequence.
Like
there's
they-
literally there's less than nothing here. It's impressive.
They meet up with everyone, and everyone they meet up with is like, "Oh, you're trying to get Vmon to evolve? Sorry, I have better things to do. Bye."
Yeah, they like literally meets every other member of the party, and that just keeps happening. He backs them onto a cliff, and Daisuke, in a last-ditch effort to save his own life, asks that Tortamon wash his hands because it's hygienic. This only serves to.
I kind of laughed at that. I'm not gonna lie. Him just out of nowhere being like, "Can you wash your hands first before you kill us?"
Freak.
You know, it'd be more hygienic. I'm like, okay, that's kind of funny.
It's like it is the singular thing we can take from this terrible, terrible sequence.
They were going through this episode, and they already had like the Tortamon pissing thing, and they were like, no, they didn't have the Tortamon pissing thing, and they're like, we need to like put like a good message for kids in this.
Wash your hands when you piss.
Wash your hands when you piss.
So yeah, the Tortamon traps them against the cliff. Who fucking cares? Eventually, as Daisuke's in trouble, the Vmon evolves and becomes X-Vmon. Yay.
Yay.
Yep.
What an underwhelming fucking.
Yep. Weirdly well animated fight follows where Tortamon uses its shell phalanx to shoot a bunch of like stones at X-Vmon. And there's like a really sick animated sequence of him breaking all the stones with punches and a kick. And then he jumps over the Tortamon and like uses it as a stepping stone to like kick him backward off the cliff. Or kick him to the edge of the cliff, and then he hits it with the XV laser and hits it off the cliff. Weirdly well animated sequence in the pissing episode. Anyway, Tortamon falls to the bottom, starts spinning.
Pissing again.
Well, he starts spinning rapidly, and they get worried. And then he stops and starts pissing again.
He like centripetal like forced his pee to, you know.
Sure.
Yeah,
Fucking sure.
How do we feel about XVmon, by the way? Like, what's the?
It's the least good level 4 of the Vmon line, but I still like it.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Just kind of I mean, you just followed up like Phaedramon, Lydramon, and Magnamon, which like you're just not as good as any of those. And then you know, over there in V-Tamer, we have Veedramon, and you're definitely not as good as that. But like, you're fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is a perfectly acceptable design.
I like XVmon.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest on any of the new 02 adult levels besides Stingmon, obviously.
You don't like Ankylomon?
He's fine.
You don't like Aquilomon?
The bird?
The bird.
No, I not really. He's just kind of lame or wholesome on. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the problem. It really feels like
is like, you're not. We'll talk about that later. But it's just like, yeah, they're fine. They're okay. I don't really like them besides Stingmon that much anyway.
Mhm. Anyway, the episode ends. Tortamon washes his hands after pissing the second time. Episode's over. Okay, moving
Wash
on.
your hands when you pee, everyone.
Yeah, wash your hands.
Or don't. I guess
Yeah.
I could.
I fucking don't. No, never practice personal hygiene.
I just said or don't because, like, how are we gonna make our viewers fucking wash their hands when they pee?
Oh, I'll make
if
them.
we bet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Move on.
Shin Dub Zone episode 22. David Cries Wolfman. Terrible name for the episode. It barely makes any
What?
fucking sense.
What does that have to fucking?
It's
It
supposed to.
doesn't.
It's supposed to be the boy who cried wolf because he's.
Yeah, I get that, but
It's bad. It's a terrible episode name.
that's awful. That's one of the worst ones yet.
Yep.
Between both Adventure and Zero Two. Holy shit.
Tortamon remains the same. Shell Phalanx was changed to Strong Carapace. XVmon is still XVmon, but it's EXVEE instead of just XV dash. XV Laser
like
was
XVmon.
changed to V Laser. So I just remove the X.
But it's an X. You can see that it's an X. What? Why even? What? How? Why even change?
What were they smoking?
Why even change that? What's the fucking point?
They're geniuses over there.
What the fuck?
During the beginning, when Cody is reading the book, he reads a passage about the king getting blown away by a fucking cannon. I don't know why. He's just like, yeah, the king stood in front of the cannon, got shot, and flew away, and everyone was real sad. In the dub, Davis is a super dickhead during the basketball game. He keeps blaming his teammates and talking about how they weren't passing the ball. Which
Why?
I don't
What's
know.
your problem, dude?
I don't know why.
What's your fucking problem, Davis? Daisuke would never do this.
So true. During the scene where they're handing out the curry, Red Vegemon, who's still doing a John Wayne impression, says, "It's tuna surprise. We don't have any tuna. That's the surprise." Which I was like, okay, sure, why not? Like, it's clearly curry on the plate.
It's not a surprise anymore.
Yeah, the surprise is gone. Like,
so they decide they want to be better at basketball and better at dancing, specifically to get closer to Kari and Gatomon. So Ultra Angemon has been replaced by Mega Dancermon. I don't know why they went with this.
I also don't know.
yeah, fucking. I don't even watch indie, so you tell me.
I couldn't tell you. At one point, Davis says slower than the U.S. mail. I was just like, fucking all
The
right.
US mail's actually pretty fast.
I mean, this was 2000. Maybe it wasn't good back then. I don't know. Can you believe it? The pissing was cut.
Okay, so this might actually be better.
Legitimately, the episode is genuinely better because of it. He's mad because the boulder hits him, and he thought it was Davis and Vmon that caused the boulder to hit him, so he gets pissed off at them about that, which makes significantly more sense.
Reasons. Come on.
Yeah, it just genuinely just a better reason. Davis still requests that Tortamon wash his hands, but it's because he doesn't like germs. That's it.
Okay.
It's not to stall for time or anything, he just asks. When during the fight, XVmon does XV punch and V kick. Just, I don't know, because they wanted to name the normal punches and kicks he was doing. That's it. Moving straight into episode 23. Holy fuck. When the Digivice is tainted by darkness, So I imagine we're gonna have significantly more to say about this episode.
Yeah. Really interesting to have 22 sandwich 21 and 23, which whatever.
I would love to say you could just pretend 22 doesn't exist, but unfortunately, it's the fucking XVmon.
XVmon happens there, so
Yeah.
you kind of can't ignore that.
We're fucking
Pissing
stuck
is
with
canon.
it. We're stuck with it. Yeah.
Can that be the episode titled "The Pissing is Canon"? Dagyaa.
Sure.
Dagyaa pissing is canon.
I don't know if YouTube's gonna allow me to put pissing in the title of the video. I'll check. So,
They should.
episode 23 is entirely focused on Ken. It is about Ken. Did the other people even show up in this episode?
No. They're legitimately just not in this episode.
Yeah, it's entirely Ken. I will state outright, this episode made me cry. So, there's that.
I don't know if it made me cry, but it was like, yeah, this is this is kind of like no contest, the best episode in the entire show so far. Like,
yeah,
damn.
And I think it just remains that. I don't think there's an episode that tops this. It's just like this episode is fucking immaculate. So the episode starts off. Ken's parents are still worried because he is still asleep and despondent. He hasn't woken up since he came back from the digital world after Wormmon died. So Ken starts talking about how he needs to find his heart, and until he finds his heart, he cannot wake up. He starts thinking about his older brother, who is dead. His older brother Osamu. Osamu was actually a genius, like just straight up. He was the one who is very smart, and Ken was just kind of like a regular kid for the most part. Everyone constantly praised Osamu, and because of that, his mother, showered Osamu in affection and was kind of, sort of, maybe a little neglectful toward Ken. And by kind of, sort of, I mean she just was, straight up. She often just kind of forgot about Ken and really focused entirely on Osamu, and it kind of went to her head, all the praise that was kind of heaped upon him. To the point where Ken may or may not have gotten some trauma related to it, and was wishing for Osamu to disappear. Because, hey, if he's not around, his parents will actually pay attention to him, which is, great. So he actively wishes for Osamu to disappear. At some point, a Digivice appears before the both of them, both Osamu and Ken, because they're in the same room when it shows up. And naturally, they assume it is for Osamu, because, he's the genius.
He's a
a
genius.
special little boy.
Yeah, he's special, so of course it's his. However, Ken constantly feels drawn to the Digivice, so he decides he's going to go ahead and just, touch it. And when he does, it whisks him away to the digital world, which we don't see what happens during that trip yet. It just kind of cuts to him coming back out.
Also, hey, interesting thing to note about Osamu, just the general design, his haircut, the fact he's got those glasses on.
Yeah, in fact, when Ken exits the digital world, he finds Osamu waiting for him. And Osamu's very upset. And there is a specific shot, like the whole shot's dyed in red, and it's like a low angle shot of Osamu, and like his glasses are gleaned over, and the way his hair specifically is just like, it is literally just Digimon Kaiser. Like verbatim.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, funny that. That's not going to become something we really understand until way fucking later in the show. But Osamu gets very upset and says, like, don't touch my stuff. I told you not to touch my shit. And, actually hits Ken. So, turns out Osamu also kind of a piece of shit and abusive towards Ken. Go figure. There are technically reasons
I think
for why he's
there's a
like this.
reason given later on.
Like,
Yeah.
it, like, obviously doesn't excuse his actions, but there is a
No.
reason for him being the way he is.
He's also like 10 years old, so
Yeah.
like it's a little easier to forgive that than the parents.
Yeah. Just like him actually getting physical with Ken is just like, man, come on. Like I get it, 10-year-olds are gonna like fight and stuff, but it's still, just like, oh geez. So again, we talk about how Ken is just like wishing for Osama to disappear, and then at some point Osama was hit by a car and he dies. Just straight up. He is dead.
Yep.
There's an accident, he is
Yep.
killed. Ken blames himself for this happening, because of course he does. And eventually he gets a mysterious, like years later at this point, he gets a mysterious email that is addressed to him, saying a lot of really cryptic and truly weird shit.
It's not even that he gets the email, it's that he was, like, looking on his brother's computer and saw the email, I think.
Yes, like for whatever reason it was addressed to him, but it was on Osama's computer. The email is just saying a bunch of stuff about how Osamu has been freed of his body, and his mind is he's happy where he is. Like, don't worry. Like where he went, he's actually happy because he's no longer shackled by the physical body he has, which is
Weird.
really weird and gross.
Sounds like religious jargon.
Yeah. So he's encouraged to pick up the Digivice and go back to the digital world. So he does.
Oh,
Only
ritual.
he's not in the digital world. He winds up at the Dark Ocean.
It's back!
And this time it matters.
Oh, don't say that.
It does.
I know it's true, but don't say it.
So Ken arrives at the Dark Ocean, and he's not actually in the digital world. He's at the Dark Ocean, which is not the digital world. And he places the Digivice in the water, which transforms it into the Black D3. And at this point, Ken is not okay. He's like laughing maniacally, and he's saying like, "This is mine. I own this. I'm gonna like this is all mine." He's a little twisted, a little mischievous.
Stick it. I can be your angel or your devil.
I don't know if mischievous is the word.
Diabolical?
Yeah, evil, fucked up,
It's straight up evil,
traumatized.
malevolent.
I don't know, mischievous. I don't know. I don't think that fits. I don't think that fits.
He's just a little silly about it.
Yeah.
He's just a little silly.
He really is not.
Everyone's allowed to be a little silly sometimes.
Even the Digimon Kaiser.
Yeah. Your Honor, he was just being silly. So at this point, we cut back to his parents, who are just kind of like having a conversation, and they kind of come to the realization that they suck, and
And have sucked.
yeah, and like the way they raised both of their kids probably fucked them up by like the constant pressure on Osamu, and once Osamu died, the then pressure on Ken to basically become Osamu.
Like, that's also why I'm a little more, I don't know if forgiving's the right word, but I'm a little more like, I see where this is coming from on like Osamu being like,
yeah,
like seeing Ken go for a shin being like so upset when he hits him, just because it's like he's probably so fucking high strung at that point from all the studying and expectations.
Yeah. No, yeah, like that's an insane amount of pressure to put on a fucking 10-year-old boy. So it is understandable that he kind of snaps sometimes and maybe has something a little wrong with him.
Everyone's got a little something wrong with them every once in a while.
Yep. But yeah, the parents realize that, oh hey, maybe the way we raised our kids like really fucked them up actually.
And it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did. It absolutely did. So Ken starts reminiscing on the fact that he always used to like really like blowing bubbles. Like this is like a visual we've seen throughout the show quite a bit actually. Is like the bubbles that Ken was blowing. because like it's like a very precious memory for him. Because the person who would make the soapy water and then cut the straw for him to actually use to blow the bubbles was actually Osamu. It was like probably the one like genuinely really nice memory they have together at this point, I would say.
I'm also
Yeah.
like assuming that memory like takes place like a lot where before a lot of like the oh Osamu's so smart Osamu
Yeah.
I'm assuming like those memories like occurred at a time like before like the realization sets in that innocence is gone or whatever.
Is it later where he talked about how the reason he's so good at blowing bubbles is because he's kind?
That's like at the end.
Yeah, it's at the end. Okay. So Ken wakes up after like remembering that whole thing with his brother, and his parents are like overjoyed, and he asks them who they are, and they immediately are just like, oh my god, he's got like some kind of amnesia from whatever happened to him, and internally Ken's like, no, like I know that you're my parents, but like he's just like, who are you to me? Like, who am I? Because at this point, Ken's lost his identity. He doesn't have one anymore. Because like he was trying to be
He spent so
Osamu.
long, yeah.
Yeah. He spent so long basically being Osamu that he doesn't remember who he is.
Fucked up.
And at this point, like they all just kind of like break down. Like Ken like admits that like Osamu is gone and that these people are also very upset about the fact that Osamu is gone, and he's sad that Osamu is gone, and they all just kind of like break down crying over this kind of shared grief that like, yeah, this kid is gone. I am not him.
They should get a
He's dead.
therapist.
They really fucking should.
Yeah, I think like family counseling's like the thing they're after here.
Oh yeah, they
Yeah.
need that. Like yesterday. Honestly, a couple years ago.
Mhm.
Yeah, like probably should have started that a while. It really like comes off as if like they've all been kind of repressing the idea that Osamu's dead like
Yeah.
for years. Really not healthy.
No,
Probably
it's
shouldn't be doing that.
extremely unhealthy coping mechanisms of just making your other son bear the burden that you were forcing upon your previous son that died. Really great stuff all around here. Yeah.
Never have another child ever again.
Yeah, you're really not good at this, like at all.
None of us have kids.
It's Ken decides to return the digital world to return to the digital world to like continue searching for his heart, and he stumbles upon the Village of Beginnings. So he is just like walking around, curious as to what this place is, and one of the Digimon, like the little babies nearby, explains like this is the Village of Beginnings. When Digimon quote unquote die, they are reborn as Digitama and come here. So Ken immediately realizes, oh my god, that means Wormmon is here.
Something, by the way, something Hikari and Takaru could have said to him at any point. By the way,
they sure could have mentioned that.
I think
hey,
we went
by the
over
way,
this the
Wormmon
last
ain't
set of
dead.
episodes. I'm pretty sure we talk about this the last set of episodes.
They
'cause
literally could
all
have
of us
just like,
got-
yelled at him and be like, "Hey, by the way, Wormmon isn't dead. He's like
Just
like,
go to the
just go to the fucking egg place. Shout out to Cheese or something. I don't know. Fucking
This show sucks. Everyone sucks.
They don't tell these kids shit. Anyway,
Takaru and Hikari are like actively fucking worthless, dude. Holy shit.
they're pretty bad. So the babies recognize Ken as the Digimon Emperor, and they proceed to tear this kid apart.
Yeah, this bit got like I get it, but it got like really funny when the literal baby started like expositing to him.
They're just like these actual literal babies are telling this other child, "Hey, do you think the sins you've committed will just be forgiven? Do you think people are just going to forget what you've done? Hell no.
Like,
you can't forget what you've done either."
Because you're a little baby, you should be like blowing bubbles or some fucking shit. What are you?
Yeah.
Hey, bubbles, huh?
Like, it's really funny because like they say some pretty fucking like poignant things. They're just like, hey, by the way, you are the good and bad parts of yourself. Your sins remain, but that's who you are. It's like, thanks, literal baby. So at this point, Ken has a flashback to the actual first time he went to the digital world. Ryo is here? Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the fact that Ryo is here.
Hey, guess who's here? Now, would you believe this has an explanation?
It does have an explanation, not one we receive in the show. Play the Wonder Swan games, kids.
Yes. So let me just really quickly regale this one. So basically, in the Wonder Swan games, which are like an original set of Digimon stories that star Ryo, the kid Ken is traveling with. There's like an arc in like one of them, or I think one of them is just about like this adventure that he has with Ken, where Ken is just one of your party members, or so. I think it's something like that. Now he is going to be in Digimon Tamers, but like we don't have to worry about that for I don't know, 6 months.
Yeah, that's a whole other can of worms that I want to talk about.
But yeah, so this adventure is explained in the Wonder Swan games. If you didn't live in Japan, tough luck.
Get fucked.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ryo is here. The reason he's in Tamers is because of the ending of like the second game, but we don't need to worry about that.
Yep. Don't worry. I'll open that can of worms when we get to him.
All right.
There's a lot to unpack here, but let's just throw away the whole suitcase.
Well, we'll get there.
We'll get there.
So
we'll get there.
Wormmon tells Ken that he has to be strong, or he'll be overwhelmed by his own kindness, which is a hell of a line.
It's a killer line.
Yeah.
Literally.
Mm-hmm. So Ken like comes to the realization that like this is like who he is. Like Ken as a person was like this very kind child who is very gentle, and that's like who he was. Unfortunately, that does not get rid of the shit he did. So he will continue having to atone for the sins he committed, but you know, he remembers who he is now. That's cool.
Yay!
And upon remembering who like he actually is, his crest begins to glow, and he manages to find Wormmon's egg. And shout out to Cheese. So he finds Wormmon's egg, and he hatches it, and it's I forget what this thing's name is. Is it just Leafmon?
No, Leafmon's the one before Wormmon, I think.
Yeah, that's what this is. Or no,
no, this is the baby.
This is the baby, which is, I think, is that not Leafmon?
I don't think
it's Leafmon. It's Leafmon.
Oh, it's Leafmon? Okay.
Yeah, it's Leafmon.
And what's the form before Leafmon?
Minomon is the next one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a little Leafmon, and basically Ken is just like fucking sobbing over the fact that Wormmon is like alive and back. And
like a lot of this could have been spared if a certain someone spoke up.
It's fine. Ken
really
says
not.
Ken says the line "Thank you for being born," which I don't care how many times I hear this line in any form of media, it fucking gets me every single time. It's so good. So essentially, the episode like concludes with like Ken realizes there are people who would in fact like miss him if he was gone. Like Wormmon is here, his parents are clearly here, like there are people who love him, and he is like, I guess, deserving of life. So, yeah.
I guess.
I thought that was later.
Well, no. Sort of. It's
sort of.
This is mostly
beaten into him a little bit.
Yeah, this is mostly like the self-actualization that he is a person and there are people who would miss him.
I don't know.
He doesn't really take this to heart, but that's fine. But yeah, this episode fucking rules. Just wonderful fucking episode.
Do you want to talk about how the dub treats it?
SHIN dubs on episode 23, Genesis of Evil. I kind of like this name more than the Japanese one. Osamu's name was changed to Sam.
Sam Reich?
Fucking. What is it, Sammy G. Joji now? Like,
Yep.
man,
Yeah.
fucking Sam. Come on.
There's a lot of additional dialogue that's entirely unnecessary that's added in like the more quiet moments where it's just like showing Sam and Ken like interacting with each other because a lot of that was just total silent in the dub or in the Japanese, but in the dub there's just a bunch of fucking stupid throwaway lines. In the dub, I guess they wanted to kind of shave the edges off of Sam a bit. So after he hits Ken, he says it's like, it's only because I'm concerned about your own safety. And then he goes into like a little rant about that. In the dub, when Ken visits the Dark Ocean, he incorrectly states it's the first time he saw the digital world.
It's not even true. It's like, it's just not the digital world.
It's like, not only is it not the first time he's been there, it's not the digital world to begin with. So
good job.
The parents' dialogue, like all of their conversations, have been basically unchanged. They more or less just say what they said. They mostly refer to Ken's kindness as like gentleness in the dub, but you know, that's fine. Those two are mostly interchangeable in the context they're using it in. That's it, really. Overall, they didn't really fuck this one up. Some unnecessary dialogue, just where it wasn't really needed, but
did they actually? They said that Osamu died.
Yeah, no, they show him getting hit by the car. They show the funeral and everything.
Then they take out the pissing?
I don't know. The kid dying is less objectionable, I guess.
He got some weird priorities.
All right, moving straight into episode 24, Armored Ankylomon of the Earth.
I love Ankylomon.
So this episode opens up and oh shit, it's her. She's here. She's finally here.
Do you have something to say, Lot?
What do you mean finally? She was here like the last batch.
Hot Lady? Was Hot Lady here?
I thought you meant Mimi.
No.
No, this is about a certain spider woman.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what you mean by spider. We have no idea who this mysterious, incredibly attractive woman is.
I played Survive. Okay, I've been tainted.
I don't.
What's up?
No, nothing.
No, go ahead.
Are you, Lot?
Yeah, what's up?
Do you have something that you want to say about Arukenimon?
Is there? You guys want to share with the class here, like
this?
Hey, I got no opinion on
This human woman who is not a spider is extremely attractive.
All right.
That's it.
Hey, Lot.
It'll be a shame if something happens later in the show that changes my opinion about this. But as of right now, this mysterious silver-haired human woman who's fucked up and evil is attractive.
Anytime you say this about women, you have to understand the position you're fucking putting me in, right? Like you understand why I get nervous every time you do this.
What was wrong? Listen, my love for women who have something deeply wrong with them has no bearing on my real life relationship.
I don't think I agree.
I genuinely don't know what the problem is. So I find fictional women who maybe are very evil and want to kill many people attractive. Is there something so wrong with that?
There you go. That's a much better way to phrase it.
Anyway, Ken is eating dinner with his parents. And yeah, it's just a nice family dinner. And afterward, he goes into the room and he's just like, ugh. And Minomon, who has evolved into his, second baby form, is just like, what's wrong, Ken? He's like, well, my parents seemed happy when I was eating more, so I ate too much. And it's like, oh my gosh. That's so fucking precious.
And then Minomon's like, all right, you gotta do some exercise. He starts jumping on the fucking bed.
Exercise. In the middle of the night, while Ken is sleeping, some fucking woman is in his room on his computer.
I think we called it stranger danger, but
He rightfully asks, who the fuck are you? And she basically goes, man, fuck you, kid, and then disappears.
You suck.
He's just like, what the fuck does that mean? What am I supposed to do with that?
You suck, kid.
Anyway, finally, we check back in with the rest of the cast of the show.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
they're helping to rebuild just some random town. And Iori is fucking like on top of Digimon, who's like drilling, and while he's talking, he's being vibrated, and it just sounds really funny. So I forget why, but the topic of Ken is brought up, and Iori's basically just like, no, fuck that kid, no forgive, no forget.
Fuck that guy.
I don't give a shit if he says he's better now.
And Daisuke's
Anichi
like, I
Joji
don't
could
know.
say, I like fire trucks and monster trucks, and everyone around him in a 30-mile radius would go, I don't give a fuck.
And then Daisuke immediately goes, I don't know, like I really think he turned over a new leaf. I think he could join us. He's kind of hot. I mean, like I think he's really trustworthy now.
I think he's hot. I mean, what?
Everyone's like, yeah, no, we agree with all of those points, Daisuke. Wait, hold on, sorry, wait.
Hang on, was that one thing you said? What, the part where he was trustworthy? Sure, man.
It's genuinely so funny how over the course of the next 3 episodes, how unbelievably fucking homosexual everything Daisuke says to Ken is. Iori's back at practice with his grandpa, and he's clearly just really fucking pissed off thinking about Ken, blinded by rage.
He starts beating the shit out of his grandpa because he's so mad about Ken. I'm like, man, that's
Not even that,
What
just
is he
like
doing
going
like that?
straight for the head.
So Takaru is fucking, I don't know why, but they cut to Takaru and he's like stacking blocks for preschoolers on his desk.
Yeah, he's like stacking. Like, dude, you're like you're like 11. You should be playing like your fucking Wonder Swan or whatever. You're not doing this. Come on.
Yeah, I was just like, why are they having him play with blocks? He's like double the age he should be playing with these at. What the fuck is going on?
He just likes fire trucks and monster trucks.
I think he's valid. I would also probably do this.
What, playing with blocks?
Yeah, why not?
Oh my god.
Have a little whimsy.
Anyway, so there's like a random aside before they go to the digital world the next day where Daisuke's playing soccer and breaks a window, and the teacher's just like, you can't keep letting this happen, and he's like, yes, I'm sorry.
I really like the scene after where he's like, yeah, but I fucking apologize. Why did you not let me go? And then like Takaru, I think, explains to Iori, like, yeah, he does this a lot. He breaks a lot. He's constantly breaking windows playing soccer.
Local menace causing thousands of damage in window replacement costs a year.
So they go
Such a fucking dipshit.
Literally one of the dumbest motherfuckers alive. They go to the digital world. There's a baby army there. They rebuilt the kindergarten the other day, so now like there's a shitload of babies in town. Daisuke is immediately just like, man, fuck these kids. And then Hikari's like, oh, they're cute. And Daisuke's like, I love these little guys.
And even females like, you change your mind too quickly, man. You.
Like, oh my god.
Man.
Vmon tries to evolve the champion. It fails. He is unable to evolve
This is
properly.
like 4 times.
Yes.
Yeah, they repeat the sequence 4 fucking times. Speaking of like trying to fill the time slot, holy shit.
I was like, man, yeah.
I was skipping through this at a certain point.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie. I was like, yeah, okay, yep,
And then they do it again like 5 seconds later.
Yep. Yeah, so after they notice Vmon can't evolve, Hikari and Takaru wander off and just like, oh, hey Patamon, maybe we should try evolve real quick. And Patamon tries and also fails. And it's just like, uh-oh, none of us can evolve. That's not good.
And this is Hikari and Takaru again. And so they're off on their own doing some secret shit, and they just decide not to tell anyone.
But for
To
what
be-
Again?
reason? For what? Like, I don't understand why this one was kept like secretive from Daisuke specifically.
Yeah, because they come back and they
go
tell
back
Miyako.
and tell Miyako and Iori are told about this. They're just like, yeah, we need to keep Daisuke in the dark about this. Like, because for some reason.
Sorry, I know this is past the first episode of the batch, but do they tell anyone like that the digital gate only opens when they're needed, or is that something also
No.
that they just keep?
They did not tell the other kids that.
So they keep that to themselves. But they
What is their
specifically
fucking problem?
they specifically like they just say that like Patamon couldn't evolve either. They don't like talk about literally anything else they talked about in that forest. They were just like, oh yeah, Patamon couldn't evolve either. Sucks.
Yeah, it's fucked
Shit
up.
sucks, dude.
Anyway.
They should be killed for this.
Yeah, they're like real bad at this whole like not even mentorship thing, just like
Being good friends.
being good friends and like sharing what they know that the others might benefit from. These two are real bad, actually. Like, God.
Is it because Yamato's not there to be the friendship guy?
My next note is just in all caps, mysterious hot bitch.
You need to be stopped. I think maybe we were right at the beginning of the episode.
Someone needs to like drop a fucking bucket of cold water. You need to like calm down here, bud. Jesus Christ.
She's like, what do you want me to fucking say? Look, everyone knows that human form Arukenimon is attractive. This is a commonly established fact.
No.
You're gay, Leon. You don't count.
I've literally said that I like women in the past.
Anyway, the rest of the episode.
Daisuke gets stuck on babysitting duty, and he complains about it immensely. And then it turns
out
immediately
he's good at it.
And then it turns out he's great with kids. Natural born leader.
I really, because I feel like part of my problem with like the first, like basically the entire Kaiser arc, one of the big ones was like, oh yeah, you know, Daisuke like really naturally fits into the leader slot. He gets the Taichi goggles and everything, and he's like almost never actually shown as a leader in that arc.
Yep.
And it's like this set of episodes alone, like did they kind of it's like they kind of recognize that they were not putting any of the work in, and like he's a lot. Like he's kind of immediately better in this arc than he was in the Kaiser arc.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Is Daisuke the same as Seophon?
No. I think the O2 kids like him a little bit more than the Eternals like fucking Seophon.
So what happened to not bringing Grand Blue into the fucking podcast?
This is an actual apt comparison.
No, people like Daisuke.
That's true.
It takes him a little bit to do so, but they like Daisuke.
So Thunderballmon like randomly just attacks Iori and Digimon, who are like getting rid of rubble in a tunnel or something. It like just seemingly out of nowhere, just a random Thunderballmon starts attacking them. And in the desperation, Armadimon evolves into Ankylomon, the big Dagyaa.
It's kind of completely out of nowhere.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, I think because what is Iori's cresting? Is it kindness?
Or Iori doesn't have a crest. He is knowledge and sincerity / reliability, depending on which.
So I think it's going for like the. Oh, I don't want to like hurt this Digimon because it doesn't have a like.
I get it, but like it happens so fucking fast and anticlimactically that I'm just kind of like.
Oh no, for sure, but
okay. You know, I kind of get though. I agree with you. I think that is what they're going for. It's just like, wow, that one sure just happens.
Yep. Same as XVmon, really.
Really adds to this feeling that they're just kind of trying to like speed through these. Don't look 2 episodes ahead yet. Don't look 2 episodes ahead yet.
They're just like, oh my god, we are 24 episodes in and we haven't even involved these damn kids into their proper champion stages yet. Let's fucking go.
We spent the first half focusing on a gimmick that has reached its logical endpoint. We can't go further with this now. Fuck.
Oh god.
Get him in quick.
So Iori is thrown into the air by the Thunderballmon, And then he is caught by a mysterious
Man.
green Digimon.
Oh, no,
And
that's
it's
a man.
fucking Stingmon! Stingmon is so fucking cool!
I love Bug.
Stingmon is so
Remember when you were
cool.
saying, Ken, like, oh man, what kind of thing could you involve into Wormon?
Probably a trash bug.
Critical lack of information.
Ken forgot that, like, the shittiest, like, fucking rookie Digimon can turn into, like, the coolest, like, whatever. I don't know the fucking stages.
It is also just really funny. Like, wow, Stingmon is, like, leagues ahead of the other three. Like, the adult level Digimon for the 02 kids.
Yeah. Holy shit. Stingmon is, like, one of the coolest adult levels, I think, in Digimon as a franchise. He's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
So cool. So yeah, he saves Iori, and it's just like literally zips by, and Ankylomon is like, here, to hold this. I'm really saying Ankylomon doesn't fucking do anything. Stingmon takes care of it.
This is supposed to be his debut, and Ankylomon's contribution.
I think Ankylomon was like trying to protect Iori.
This is Stingmon's episode, not Ankylomon's episode.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah, because Ankylomon doesn't get an episode, basically. So yeah, Stingmon is just like, starts having a really smoothly animated, like, boxing, like, trying to hit Thunderballmon.
There's like this little bit where he's like chasing him, and it goes like really fast. It looks really funny.
Yeah. And then he uses fucking spiking finish and obliterates Thunderballmon. He is fucking vaporized. Just dead. Gone completely. And all the kids react with, oh my god. He just fucking killed that thing. Fucking no mercy.
Which, I mean, they're in the digital world, so if it was actually, like, a Digimon, like that.
Hey, fun fact, Leon, the rest of the O2 cast still don't know that!
This is a really funny show.
So, Stingmon, like, they're all just like, oh my god, like, who is this mysterious Digimon? He just fucking killed that thing. And then Stingmon flies over, and it turns out Ken is there, and he, like, goes behind Ken, and are all like, Ken, watch out! And then he turns back into Wormon, and everyone's like, oh my. And then he just leaves. Ken just kind of bounces. He doesn't say anything, he just leaves.
My job here is done. But you did something.
Yeah, but you did everything. Leaves.
You did everything.
And then at the end, we have, like, the Wormon and Ken walking into the distance, and Wormon apologizes because they couldn't catch her. And it's like, oh, the plot thickens.
Still can't believe you have the hots for her.
What? Like, fucking sue me! I think most people would agree with me. Like, we are factoring out the actual Digimon form of her. We are talking exclusively the human version of her.
I just don't see it.
How do you not see it? She's, like, fucking mysterious and fucked up and evil.
Maybe I'm just not into fucked up and evil women.
I guess so. Like, that's fair. Not everyone likes fucked up and evil women. I'm perfect. That's perfectly acceptable.
We move on.
Yeah,
you were the one who
brought it up.
To be fair.
Okay, admittedly, the Ghost game design is also doing a lot of carrying for this.
Oh my god!
What?
Oh my god!
In Ghost game, she takes off the hat and glasses, or whatever.
I'm gonna grab a drink. Fuck this.
Shin Dub Zone episode 25. If I had a tail hammer.
Yeah, me too, bitch.
I don't even. This might be a reference to Wizard of Oz. Literally.
I had a tail hammer.
Like, I think that's what this is supposed to be. Thunderballmon has been named Thundermon. They just took out the ball part of it. Its attack, Thunderball, goes unnamed in this episode.
They hate balls.
They do. Ankylomon is the same. Megaton Strike, or Megaton Press is the same. Tailhammer, the same. They did not change anything about Ankylomon or its moves. Spiking Finish has been renamed to Spiking Strike.
That's kind of no.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yoli says they're going to the primary village, which is not true. They are just going to some random village they were helping to rebuild, not primary village. But God forbid the dubbers think.
They don't know how to do that.
And literally the only fucking like actual note I have for this episode is one thing that made me laugh, which was when Veemon's doing his thing. He just goes, Digivolve to Veemon, I'm still Veemon. Which was like, cute.
Hey, you got us.
And then at the very end of the episode, Wormmon says, next time, Ken, I won't miss. In reference to the mysterious woman.
What do you mean they got him?
I was just like, oh my god. What do you mean you won't miss? Episode 25, Night of the Skies, Arukenimon. This episode literally opens up with Davis trying to convince everyone his boyfriend is cool, actually.
No, guys, you have to understand. Like, I really think we can make Kent like a part of this. Like, please, for me, please, guys.
Please, I need this. I need this.
Guys, I need this so bad.
Yeah, that's like literally the entire beginning of this episode is literally just Daisuke going to each individual person and being like, no, really, I think Ken is a good guy and we can let him like be part of the team. And basically everyone being like,
I don't know yet.
He did some like
very
real fuck shit though. Like,
yeah.
So he killed a bunch of people.
Digimon.
Or Digimon not people? Leon?
Digimon are people, but people are not Digimon.
Oh my
It's
God.
like squares and rectangles. Not all people are Digimon.
Whatever. Okay, so literally the entire first 5 minutes of this episode is just like, Daisuke trying to convince people to let Ken be a part of the team. Eventually he meets up with Ken himself out in the riverbank in, the fucking sunset shot and everything.
I really like how this scene kind of showed like I like how this batch has generally shown Daisuke as a leader, but I really liked this scene in particular, which shows like the kind of different type of leader Daisuke is from like Taichi, where it's like guy's fucking dumb as a stump, incredibly fucking stupid, but he's like really empathetic.
Yes,
he's like emotionally smart as opposed to like book smart or
maybe
street
like
smart
street smart. Like Taichi was definitely more street smart, but Daisuke has like a surprising amount of like emotional intelligence. Like he can tell when even something he's doing is like upsetting someone.
It's good. He's got very high emotional intelligence. Shame about the other kind.
Oh yeah, no, complete like it's literally going from like 100 to a 0. The other things, but
he's got heart, and that's what matters. Yeah, Ken's grades have been dropping because he he isn't trying as hard as he used to because he doesn't have to. He doesn't have those expectations anymore.
There's that, but I think it's also like alluded that he's like spending a lot more time in the digital world.
Yeah, true. He's just not studying as much.
And using that time
the main reason for that he can even do that is because again, he just doesn't have those expectations anymore. He's free to just be Ken.
Yeah.
So Daisuke is just like Daisuke's like, you should probably apologize to everyone. To which Ken responds, Yeah. Daisuke is like, they'll probably forgive you. Maybe not immediately, but like eventually.
And Daisuke's like, you think?
I believe Daisuke exclaims something about them all being partners, and Ken just being like, nah, Nah, no.
I don't like that
I'm
word.
not.
You never
I'm
say
not
that
ready
one.
for a relationship right now.
Oh, but Daisuke,
Daisuke's like, aw, man.
damn, I thought I had you with that one. But yeah, Daisuke is steadfast in like Ken will join the party. He refuses to let him just kind of go off on his own.
Good for him.
Yep. So we cut ahead to the next day. Stingmon and Ken are just kind of taking down towers, doing their business, destroying anyone they can. Also, Mimi is here! Yay!
Is her haircut supposed to be like a perm?
I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if she's rocking this one.
Yeah, this one's a bit kind of whatever.
I don't think this is you, girl. I think I understand what you're going for here. I don't think it's you.
She got like this haircut, like expecting it to be like really cool, and like it just sort of didn't rock out, but she's taking it in stride anyways.
Yeah, that's really what it comes off to me as.
Well, can't win them all.
Fucking can't win them all. Gotta stick with this for like what, a week?
Fuck it, we ball.
Yeah, she's taking care of some babies, some Yukimi Bodemons. Palmon is off gathering some herbs and grasses to make some tea, which is adorable. I'm not going to read my next note because you guys are mad.
It's about the fucking mysterious woman, isn't it?
It's about the fucking spider lady again. God damn it.
The note is just in all caps, the hot evil lady.
It's gonna come out in like a couple of days that Law went and saw like Madame Spider and was like, man, this movie is actually really good.
No,
like,
I have severe arachnophobia, actually.
That makes this even
more. What's wrong with you?
This is entirely removed from the Digimon version of this character.
Except it's literally not.
It's just the human version. That's it. That's all I'm talking about.
There's a spider on her fucking hat, dog.
So it's stylized. Whatever. We're getting off topic again. Anyway, I forgot because I didn't want to write Arukenimon in like the notes because we don't know it's Arukenimon yet. So I literally just kept writing Hot Lady because it was shorter. So she's plucking like single hairs and putting them into the Dark Spires, and that is causing them to become Digimon with heavy air quotes.
I think the worst part is that when she plucks her hair, there's no gravity to it. Like I hate that.
Oh yeah, she turns it into the needle because at first it is like droopy like a hair, and then it's
which I guess perfectly. Like the implication is that it's like maybe like spider thread or something.
I'm gonna be honest. I just see someone yanking their own hair out like that, and I get like,
Yeah, there's something
don't do that. That's
something
bad for you.
There's something deeply wrong with this woman. Yeah. What? What the fuck?
There was an inflection in your voice as you were saying that.
Are you sure that you want to be in a?
Dude, don't even fucking joke about that. Let's not do that. She turns the Spire into a Digimon. Palmon, having seen all this, starts running back to Mimi. But unfortunately, the Golemon that the Spire is turned into catches up to her and slams her with a rock, as shown in the current screenshot. And like, it's really violent. Like, they do the zoom in and everything of her just like getting fucking obliterated by this thing. She's immediately out the count, just like done instantly. Basically, I think she just faints. Mimi cries for help, and for some reason, all the kids just hear it.
Yeah.
So they all go to the digital world.
You got a problem with the?
It's weird. I didn't.
No, it is. Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
They just kind of hear it in like their mind's eye or something.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, when can you fucking do that?
Plot convenience. Since plot convenience.
Mimi is Mimi is very
That is
powerful.
very much Zero Two's MO, so fair enough.
God. Man, when Momo's here, when Momo's not here to balance things out, you guys are so mean.
I mean, I like this show. You know this about me.
I know. So everyone arrives and starts attacking the Golemon, and they very quickly learn that there is no ring or anything on the Golemon. It is just being an asshole.
Me.
Sure.
Do you destroy dams to sink entire villages?
Let's move on.
Okay, well your silence is very concerning. Move
Let's move
on.
on.
Okay, so Golemon manages to punch a hole in the dam, and there's a cool little sequence of everyone doing various things to basically like create a secondary makeshift dam and a drain to prevent the water that did manage to get out before they plugged it from destroying the entire city. And then this episode becomes the children dealing with the trolley problem. Because
specifically Miyako dealing with the trolley problem?
Yes, because like they all start having second thoughts because they're just like, if we want to prevent this thing from destroying the dam and wiping this city off the map, we need to kill him. Daisuke is like, no, we have to do what we gotta do. We will kill him. Miyako and Iori are against it, but Miyako specifically is like really like wrestling with the idea.
I guess it's like
the 02 kids still really haven't told them, or the 01 kids.
Yeah, it's really remarkable that like Takaru and Hikari have no opinion on this because they've killed Digimon before, but they just don't weigh in at all for no reason. Also, this is now what, like, Miyako's 4th bit they gave her? Like,
yeah.
So well, here's a question.
Technically, this goes for the first bit where she doesn't like fighting.
Do the 02 kids have any context that there are, in fact, just Digimon that are evil?
No, they've not met one yet.
No. And fucking Takaru and Hikari aren't telling him about it, so fucking... These two are so bad. They're actually like just bad. I'm starting to realize
they were like good Digimon, like usually good Digimon. It's like killing them could be like a last resort sort of thing of like, we don't want to do this, but if it's our only option, it's not like the worst thing that could happen to them.
I'm just now realizing, like, did 02 kids with R and Ken know about the Village of Beginnings?
Oh my god, they might not even know that village exists.
Oh!
Oh my god!
We are unraveling this series. We're unraveling this
hold on, wait, I need to go back.
So...
I want to say Hikari and Takaru finally told them at like the end of episode 21?
There's no way!
But then there's no moral quandary, right? Like, you don't kill them, you just stop them from fucking everyone else.
No, I don't have a note. I think they literally just don't tell them.
Oh my god.
God!
Jesus Christ. Anyway.
This is so rough.
Legitimately, it's kind of funny how much 02 as a show would be improved if Hikari and Takaru weren't here.
But then the viewers have the context for that. Like,
that's
because
fine.
That's fine. If this was like at all an arc about them having to like figure that out, like if there was like, because I mean like the solution to the trolley problem this episode that it was actually never a trolley problem in the first place, but like fucking at least that could have been like, oh well, they had to figure that out. There's literally 2 guys here who know how this fucking works. One of them lost their Digimon, in fact, and.
To be fair, I don't think Padamon's egg went to the Village of Beginnings, but yeah.
No, just kind of that was before they had written the Village of Beginnings existing because they was only meant to be one season.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. They visited. Literally, Takaru and Padamon visited it in the Devimon arc.
Is that during the Devimon arc?
Yeah, that's how Ericmon shows up.
Oh my god, you're right. Sorry, I thought that was post Devimon.
No.
Yeah, wow, they just didn't really know their own rules back then. Anyway, we're getting wildly off topic. So yeah, Miyako
hate these two. Sorry.
Miyako realizes that Ken has the resolve to kill while they do not. And that's why he was able to so mercilessly just strike down that Thunderboltmon. Essentially, this all winds up like Miyako is basically having this internal struggle, and she's really like rapidly realizing we're gonna have to do this. Like we have to kill the Golemon. And coming to this realization of I don't want to do this, but I have to for the sake of saving a bunch of other people, allows Hawkmon to digivolve into Aquilamon. And then after, so I also want to point out, Miyako's the only character that got any kind of like development in order to actually get her evolution. The other two just kind of happened.
Like the only one with any proper build up here, yeah.
Very funny. But yeah, anyway, almost immediately after the Aquilamon evolution, Palmon's like, it's not a Digimon, it's a Dark Spire that you turn into a Digimon. And everyone's like, oh, it's not a Digimon? All right, fucking kill it then.
Yeah, once again, the solution to the trolley problem is, there wasn't a trolley problem, actually. We found it. We found the solution. Just don't have one.
Yep.
And I feel like this might come into play later, but they don't even question like, oh, it's not a Digimon, like, we can just kill it without any repercussions, because then there's the whole Blackmore Greymon thing later where he like very clearly has a conscience.
It's fine. This one was just a mindless killing machine because it was only made of one spire.
I mean, that's probably like the
yeah.
That is probably how it actually works. Yeah.
Yeah. The internal logic is that like the only reason he does because he's made of like 1,000 or whatever. So yeah, basically the episode ends like they kill the Golemon. No pomp and circumstance. It's fine. Ken also showed up because they needed his help because they were just like, well, we can't fucking kill him. Then I'm sure Ken will. And
if you won't do it, Ken will do it. Yes, make Ken do it.
And then I'm pretty sure like just after Ken just like fucking leaves.
Yeah. Well, he's like they're just like, Ken, you should join us, because like at this point most everyone except Iori has like kind of come around to it. Because this was Miyako.
Well, yeah, because like when he shows up, like Mimi's like, oh, what a nice friend you guys have, and then Iori's like gets angry.
He's just whatever. And Ken's like, it's my fault this happened in the first place. I should take care of it myself. And Daisuke's like, that's fucking stupid. Shut up. You're one of us. But he leaves anyway. And Miyako shoots him an email that's just like, looking forward to when you finally stop being a little bitch about it and join us. And the episode ends. SHIN Dub Zone.
That did not go in the direction I expected.
No, not at all. SHIN Dub Zone, episode 25, The Spirit Needle. So, because I'll explain. So Stingmon is, this is when we finally get the actual name of him, despite the fact that he premiered last episode. Stingmon stays the same. Yukimi Botamon stays the same. They did not change that name.
Huh.
Yeah. Golemon stays the same. His move, Curse Crimson, was changed to Crimson Curse.
Sure.
Aquilamon stays the same. Glide Horn was changed to Grand Horn, and Blast Laser was changed to Blast Rings.
All right.
Yeah. At the very beginning of the episode, there are these two girls gossiping, and one of them just like, what's with Davis and his goggles? Which I thought was funny.
I mean, if they're honestly, if like in my high school, if there was someone that wore goggles like on their head every day, I would kind of be like, what kind of freak weeaboo is this guy?
Why is he wearing them? What kind of is he?
Oh my god.
Oh boy, is it gonna be the next running bit?
Yeah, that was a post that it did bleep everybody. God fucking. Anyway, when Davis and Ken are meeting on the bank, Ken says, "Did you come to remind me that I'm a bad boy?" And I was just like, "Bro,
maybe those two girls are right."
Shut up!
You can't stand the fact that I'm funny.
Fucking hate. When Stingmon's doing his rapid kicks, he calls out spinning spiking strike. So I guess that they called it that.
Sure.
When the mysterious lady takes out a single strand of her hair and like puts it into the tower, they decided to make it a move in the dub and call it Spirit Needle. That's how she activates the tower.
Okay.
I actually had only seen the dub growing up, so I remember watching the subbed. I was just like, "What do you mean that's not like a move she uses? She could just do that? Why the fuck could she just do that?" Palmon does not get hit by the rock in the dub. They hard cut to Palmon like with the rock in like her stomach falling down the tree. They skip the part where she actually gets hit and the zoom in. And also, when the dam is breaking, they're screaming about how there's millions of lives at stake. Millions of lives.
In that one little tiny city?
Yeah, there's millions of lives. Fucked up, I know.
Okay.
There's a lot of Digimon in that one city. Huh?
I guess if it's a lot of like tiny ones that could maybe fit in there.
There's a group of Digimon that are actually like microscopic.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, so
finally the level zeros.
No, they have like normal levels. You just can't see them.
Moving
They're
into
like
episode
germs.
26. Jogress Evolution. Now, 2 hearts become 1. Pyrodramon's so fucking cool. I can't wait to see him. Anyway, they changed the OP and it spoils Imperial Dramon.
They also changed DED. It also spoils Imperial Dramon.
DED spoils fucking everything is what it spoils.
They also spoil the other 2 Jogresses.
It spoils fighter mode.
They keep doing that. Like anytime like a Digimon like JP thing like switches into the second OP, just fucking stop. Like don't watch that, honestly.
Yeah, start skipping the OP.
Literally,
or at least just don't look at the screen.
It always spoils.
Mm-hmm.
They did this for Adventure. I'm relatively sure they're going to do this for Tamers and stuff as well. Like,
I know from that Ghost Game didn't do this. Ghost Game changed the OP as the show went on.
Yeah,
which was very neat. It was really cool seeing them squeeze fucking 12 Digimon into that one like 10-second part of the chorus.
Yeah, maybe didn't always exactly work, but you know.
It was cool. It was fine.
Yeah.
Because it was really fluid animation, because like the Digimon, we'll talk about it when we get to there. In fucking 2 years when we're talking about Ghost Game. So we pretty much like we open up on a conversation between Wormmon and Ken, where they're just like, "Who the hell is that woman, by the way? Who the fuck is that?" All they know about her is she can turn the Dark Spires into Digimon, and Ken no longer can like get a read on the Dark Spires because he's no longer the Kaiser. Like when he tries to like feel out the spire and like the network it's connected to and all that, he just gets nothing. I'm gonna skip my next note.
Jesus Christ!
How many did you have?
Don't worry about it. This one was just something I was just like thinking in my head and I wrote down. It's not an actual note about the episode.
I realize this is like very quickly becoming a problem, right?
It's fine. Don't worry about it. This was mostly for the bit. But yeah, so the mysterious woman is like, she's just annoyed. Like she's sitting there like, because they just repaired a bridge, and so she's sitting there. She's like doing her nails with like a file, and she flips her hair and she goes, she fucking says something about split ends or something, and then tears a hair out. Makes him into Tarumon using one of the spires, and is like, "I'm annoyed. Destroy that bridge." It's so fucking funny. Like, I'm in a bad mood.
Defense, I would also, in fact, if I were annoyed, summon a minion and tell them to destroy something if I could.
Exactly, she's valid.
Not in everything. Not on the part where she gaslights children. I guess that's a thing she does.
Yeah, I would consider it gaslighting. Yeah,
maybe that's a little less valid. Who knows?
You know, God forbid women do anything. So yeah, the Minotauromon starts destroying the bridge, and the kid's just like, "Man, we just fucking built that. Come on." So for whatever reason, Hawkmon's line read on the Hawkmon Shinka is really funny in this episode, because he starts saying Shinka and then it keeps going and he basically is just screaming by the end of it.
Shinka!
It's really, really good. Quilomon picks up the Minotauromon and then drops it on the bridge, thus making a big fucking hole in it. They beat the Minotauromon. They just kill it. Nothing really exciting or anything happens during this fight scene. They just kill the Minotauromon.
I like that it was Ledramon who killed him. It's like, oh, we're gonna at least pretend for a little bit the armors haven't been completely made irrelevant yet. That's neat.
Yeah.
We're not gonna stick on that for long, but appreciate while it lasts.
Fucking God. I think Daisuke says something about Ken, and Iori gets pissy about it, and it's just like, man, get over it already. Come on, dude.
Iori like secretly has a crush on Ken and like doesn't realize it. So what he's actually feeling is just jealousy.
All I have here for a note is, well, when you put it that way, in quotes, and then just, yeah, it sounds gay. I think this was about Daisuke complimenting Ken again.
It was no, yeah, because he says something about like understanding Ken and like or understanding Ken's like crest.
Heart, like,
and then Takeru goes, "Oh, so it's sort of like you understand his heart, right?" And he goes,
yeah, because he was talking about like when he picked up the golden Digimental, which was like Ken's crest.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Well, when you put it that way."
Oh man.
Oh man, Bridget, I can't wait for you.
So yeah, at this point they're just like, we go back to Ken and Stingmon. They're just destroying a shitload of spires. Decide to call it a day. Go home, eat some snacks. Take a well deserved break. There's the new eye catch, by the way, which is also very cute because it's
a giant gold chocolate egg.
Yeah.
Shout out to cheese.
Shout out to cheese.
To cheese. We should have gotten cheese on this show.
We should get cheese on this show for one of these episodes. After the eye catch, the episode comes back, because the eye catch is cute. Ken and Wormmon are just having a nice dinner. Just having a nice little dinner in Ken's room. And the fucking evil woman comes up on Ken's computer screen and is like, "Hey, dumbass." Ken is immediately just like it's very clearly just like, I don't want to deal with you right now, but also I have a lot of questions for you. So they start having like an argument, basically a big back and forth. And at one point, she says, "Turn around 3 times and bark, and maybe I'll tell you." And I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with this woman?
You cannot be telling children this, dude. That's fucked. No.
Like, it's like, I get what she meant, like, to fucking be a dog or whatever, but like, unfortunately, in the modern day, this has very different context, and you can't be saying shit like that. She explains to Ken that anyone could have been the Kaiser. Ken was just the easiest to manipulate at the time she needed someone to manipulate. He was purely a tool of convenience. He was not chosen for any special reason, which is fucked up. And at this point, Kosher, oh yeah, by the way, the Digimon Kaiser's old base is exploding. I think we skipped over that part.
Yeah, Kosher just appears out of nowhere and is like, "Hey, this is happening."
Yeah, so the other kids are trying to contact him while Ken is having the argument with the fucking evil lady. Fucking Wormmon picks up the phone.
Moshi, Wormmondes.
And fucking Koshiro's like, "Oh, did he not pick up? Is this an answering machine?" And Wormmon's like, "No, this is a Digimon speaking. How can I help you?" Ken can't answer the phone right now. Koshiro's like, "Oh, okay, Wormmon, great. Put Ken on the phone."
Can I just say,
Ken on the fucking phone?
Based on where Wormmon and the phone are in the room, like they could probably definitely hear like the conversation happening on the computer, like 5 feet away.
Koshiro hears turn around 3 times and bark, and it's just like, what the fuck is going on over there?
We're having conversations.
So yeah, when Wormmon presents the phone and explains what's happening, Ken realizes that the scary lady was literally only fucking with him to stall for time, so that he couldn't get back to stop the explosion from happening. So him and Wormmon immediately head to the digital world. And since he leaves, she decides, well, all right, since he's leaving, I guess I gotta kill all these kids. So she decides to take, I think it's like about 10, I think. 10 hairs at once and activate 10 spires, which basically, if you use multiple towers, it leads to a stronger Digimon. Because now an Arukenimon spawns from it, which is a perfect level. So, that's just a mechanic that's going to exist going forward,
Of course.
consistently upping the ante, yeah. At one point, Tailmon says, "If only I could digivolve the Anjuamon." I was like, "Yeah, fucking if only, right?"
But you did earlier in the show.
That's fine. That was a special circumstance where she was like filled with power or whatever in that bad episode we don't talk about.
Okay, yay.
Yeah, so Ken finally like shows up. Akumon wrecks everybody. Like XVmon's the only one still up. And Ken finally shows up, and he basically is just like Daisuke's like, "You have the crest," and he's like, "Hands it over so we can get in there and like solve it." And Ken's like, "No, you all have to leave. I'm doing this alone." Which essentially the conversation winds up being like, "I'll do anything to atone for my sins, even if it means dying." At which point Daisuke slaps him and is like, "That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard." Like, you do realize you have to be alive to atone for your sins, right? Because Digimon's a smart piece of media, and it doesn't it doesn't do redemption through death. That shit don't fly here.
You must live to atone for your sins.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's like honestly like better anyways. Like
Oh yeah,
That's
no,
the easy way out, arguably.
yeah,
Right?
no.
Like,
yeah.
Redemption through death is like one of the fucking worst tropes that exist in fiction, in my opinion. I fucking hate it every time it happens. And then because they're like hearts and minds are connected through this conversation of Daisuke. Daisuke's convincing Ken and XVmon is convincing Stingmon that people love you, idiot. Stop trying to kill yourself. Uh, they
Daisuke resisting the urge to say, "I love you."
and we get
he gets
our
as close as he can.
yeah he gets real close to saying it. We get the first Jogris evolution, which goddamn these sequences are so cool. Paildramon is one of the sickest fucking perfects, I think. And
It's got the sickest fucking song.
oh my god. What
The way the song fucking like lines up with the
Yes.
fucking the gunshots. Oh,
it's so good.
The one thing with me, right? And this is going back to something I said at the start of the episode. I was like, kind of remembering why I didn't think that much of like XVmon at the start.
Mhm.
Like when I was a kid. Another reason why is wow, we had like 4 episodes with them, and immediately they're getting used as Jogger's fodder.
Yeah, no, XVmon's
Like
done.
it really made like XVmon and stuff is just done. Like it really does kind of make them feel like they're not here to exist as Digimon on their own. They're here to fulfill the requirements to make Jogras happen.
Yeah.
Which is like fine. Like, again, Pildramon's one of the sickest things ever, but it's like, okay. It's really starting to click to me why I just never had much of an opinion on XVmon compared to the other like Vmon level 4s.
So Jogris is super cool.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like perfect level Jogrises aren't a good idea.
I think I get where you're coming from here.
Because it's like perfect levels are like usually perfect levels are the ones that just get shafted because they take the longest to get to, and by that time, like it's toward the end of the show, and they don't have enough time to shine.
Yeah.
And like in this case, we're getting we're getting Pyodra one nice and early, like just one episode later than we got Metal Greymon. So he's showing up nice and early, and he's also fucking awesome. Super cool design. Unfortunately, because of what you said, it basically just makes the adult levels exist for the purpose of getting to the Jogris. Especially,
yeah, no, that's all these guys are like explicitly. That's all these guys are here for.
Yeah, it's just yeah. Like I feel like it's worse. The worst case scenario is specifically this one because like a lot of the times adult levels don't just feel like a bigger version of the child level. but all three of them very much do, and I think it's specifically because they were just like, well, we got a Jogress with them.
Because usually like the adults are arguably the ones that get the most time to shine.
Yeah.
They're like it's also the weird scenario that Zero Two put itself in where we only got the adults as like late as this half because they wanted to introduce a new gimmick. And like the armors are technically supposed to be like the stand-ins for what the adult levels would usually be in these shows, but also like the execution on that is maybe a little questionable for some of them. That's a different conversation. But it's like for what is usually like this is like the first step in like both the Digimons and effectively the characters in like evolution. And like usually like you think of Agumon, you think of Greymon, right? Like
they're inseparable.
Inseparable, like just as an idea. But these are really just like, yep, this is big guy. He's gone in like 5 episodes. It's just
No, yeah, it's very weird.
I feel like having them maybe work up to a perfect level and then the perfect levels like Jogress into Ultimates would, one, give the adults a little more time to shine, and two, make the other two Jogresses not completely irrelevant by the end of the show, but whatever. It's just, yeah, I get where you're coming from with this. However, the trade event is that we lose Paildramon, so,
Yeah, no, Paildramon is too fucking cool. I mean, legitimately, I think you should just make Paildramon just a natural evolution of XVmon at this point, like, fuck it.
Yeah.
This way you can give Stingmon a proper line.
Yeah. Because that is, like, another thing why in, like, later Digimon media, these adults just feel super whatever and throwaway. Like, they've never made, like, an XVmon line or, like, an Ankylamon line.
Yeah.
It's just XVmon, Jogress.
It's
Stingmon
like,
kind of has a line, not really, but kind of.
It's, like, arguable that its perfect level is Jewel Beamon, and that's, like... That's cope.
Yeah.
And then technically for an ultimate, it could have Boncho Stingmon, but that's also just like the Bonchos are their own thing. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, man, Jogress is so fucking cool. I wish its introduction didn't kneecap the majority of the things it involved.
Yeah.
Like O2 is very much like they tried to do too much in one show because like they had the armors. If the armors had been the gimmick and then the armors got natural evolutions on top of just like normally, like I could see them doing something like what they did for Gamelon, where it's like the armors are the natural like adult level, and then they just have a conjoined perfect level, like what they did with Gamelon.
There's like a combination like Freydramon and Rydramon.
Something like
perfect.
like fucking Frontier does this better. It still only gives it to 2 of their characters, but like Ultimon is just a combination of Arukenimon and Burning Greymon.
Yeah. No, like I think it is actually just the fact that it's like they decided to introduce both Jogress and armors in the same show that like kind of makes the whole thing like feel like a mess and like neither concept, because like this is also like again, armors are gone. Like they're still kind of here, but effectively in terms of usefulness, they're spent, dude. Like prepare to see way less and less of like. I mean, we didn't even see Freydramon, probably because they didn't want him to overshadow XVmon. But like you know.
Also, did you know Submarimon is a Digimon that exists?
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you know it's in, I think, 1 episode of the show? Its debut.
Did it ever get used? Oh,
I literally don't.
He uses it to get to the Kaiser's base later.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's 2 episodes of the show. Submarimon is in 2 episodes of the show. Its debut, and then because he already needs to go underwater during a later part of the show.
Again, this is where things are gonna get weird on these episodes. Because simultaneously, again, I think Ken's entire character and the dynamic with Daisuke best thing in the show, like by like a country mile.
Mm-hmm.
We also really get to see where the production is just falling the fuck apart.
Yeah. This back half of the show gets pretty fucking rough. So, just to kind of like show how the sausage is made a little bit, pull back the curtain. So, we're gonna get the other 2 perfects over the course of the next 10 episodes. It takes until episode 36 when Shakomon finally arrives. And then from
They
there,
really could not have him too early. He reflects fizz.
Yeah, no, he's
would be too strong to have too early.
And then unfortunately, after Shakomon's premiere, Shakomon and Sylphimon basically stop existing and they don't matter anymore.
That's not entirely true, and we know why, Lot.
But I mean, yeah, they're in the movie, like.
But
and they look sick as fuck.
That doesn't make them relevant. They're just in the movie.
It makes them relevant. It makes them relevant to me. It makes them relevant to me.
Do you think I haven't seen 02?
No, the movie.
I've seen the movie.
No, beginning.
Oh, fucking.
Yes, Sylphimon and Shakomon are in the beginning. Oh, fucking wild spoiler.
They look sick as hell, and they are relevant to me.
God.
Well, thank God. It took him. Hang on, checks my watch here. 23 years, but we got one. We got one.
Anyway, yeah, we talked about this for way too long. Shin Dub Zone episode 26. United we stand. Minotauromon stays the same. Dark Side Quake has been changed to Earthquake Drill. Okuamon stays the same. Scissor Arms Omega has been changed to Double Scissor Claw.
Ew.
At one point, David, like right at the beginning, David says, watch what you're doing, and Shurimon's like, you don't have to yell at me. It's like, okay.
Okay.
I have a note that just a note here that just says, now I'm just plain Ken. Yo, I loved Barbie.
I'm just Ken.
I really have had fucking enough, you know? Like, damn.
I've had enough, Dagyaa.
In English, they kept the split end joke. Like, just verbatim. They actually didn't remove that one. And then I came to the realization, oh, wait a second. It's a joke that involves a woman being petty and vain. Of course they'd keep it. At one point, yeah. Davis says, very funny TP, a little help over here. Because again.
He's still doing that.
Oh, yeah, he's never going to stop, and it's funny every time.
Fucking hysterical, dude.
They didn't cut the part where Davis slaps Ken. They kept the whole thing in. At one point, Davis says, I'm tired of your big bad wolf act. And then XVmon goes, he means lone wolf. Which I thought was really funny.
That's pretty good, yeah.
At one point, Ken says, so this is what it feels like to have a friend when their hearts are connected for the Jogress.
You know, when you think about it, the Jogress thing works a lot like the Mobius thing in Xenoblade 3.
You're so right. That's what it is. The Xenoblade Chronicles 3, the Mobius mechanic literally just stole Jogress from Digimon.
It's kind of fucked up when you think about it.
The first ever piece of media to use fusion as a mechanic. Digimon.
Specifically the way that they would like describe whatever.
No, I know what you mean. I'm just being shitty about it. No, yeah, like the Mobius from Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is very much like almost exactly the same as the way Jogress and Digimon work.
So when is someone gonna make an edit of the Jogress song over the Mobius mechanic?
So the Paildramon evolution sequence sure is really lame when it just has the shitty original Digimon theme from English playing over it.
Oh,
yeah.
Without
without the insert song, which it's not stand up to the fight is like what he says. I don't think it's the name of the song though. Might just be called Stand Up. I think it's called Stand Up.
Is it not? No, is Beat Hit the armor one or?
Is Beat Hit the Jogress theme? No, yeah, it's the Jogress theme. It's Beat Hit.
I knew it. Yay, I was right.
Okay, yeah. So without Beat Hit playing, the evolution sequence just kind of falls flat. I mean, it still looks cool, but like Damn, that music adds a lot.
I wonder why the evolution sequence specifically tuned to a piece of music falls apart when it doesn't
Have the
play
piece of
alongside said
music.
piece of music.
Fucked up, right?
Curious.
Okay, somehow we've managed to keep the recording time under 3 actual hours, which is
What?
yeah, a miracle.
I don't believe you.
2 hours, 57 minutes. I'm looking at the timer right now.
Because
We started a little late.
it feels like it's been 3 hours only because the clock says 5 and we quote unquote started at 2.
I mean, we started
I'd like to say
2:45.
I'll keep it shorter next
2:30.
episode, but I saw the preview for like episode 27.
Yeah, unfortunately, the next couple episodes are bangers, so we're gonna,
I'm not gonna say that.
Yep. No, I know what you're gonna say, and don't say it. All right. So, the next session will be episodes 27 through 31 of Digimon Adventure 02. So just keep that in mind. And anyone got any closing thoughts that you can get out in 90 seconds or less?
What is this? A fucking commercial break?
I just want to make the recording less than 3 hours.
You realize we're cutting shit out of the recording, right?
Davis and Kent stuff was pretty cool.
They should kiss.
Rest of the batch wasn't that great. Wash your hands when you piss, kids.
Wash your hands when you piss.
Yeah, I guess you should wash your hands when you piss. Like, that's a good
You
lesson.
guess?
Let me finish my fucking thought. That's a good lesson to be taking away from this episode, I guess.
You don't know for sure that washing your hands when you piss is a good idea?
That's not what the I guess meant in this context, Leon.
Yeah, but someone could have taken it that way.
Well, they're not
I
going
took it
to.
that way.
I'm ending the recording. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for watching the DigiVerse DiveCast. As always, there's nothing to really promote at all. I do have to say one thing, though. At the beginning of the episode, we kind of talked a bit about Digimon Liberator, and post-episode, Bridget, me, Leon, talked about it more, and after going back and rereading the comic, we basically decided we are actually going to retranslate it and re-edit the entire thing. So that will be a thing that's happening. Likely every chapter, we are just going to go in and give it a more proper translation. So you guys can look forward to that. We'll talk about it more probably next session after we've already done the first chapter. Obviously, it'll take a while because we are in no way professionals. So, things are going to take a little longer for us to do than it would a proper team. Especially because the method of getting the actual pages for me to clean and redraw anything that needs to be cleaned and redrawn is kind of annoying. But yeah, so more on that during the next session. The first retranslated chapter will probably be up around that time as well. But in the meantime, as usual, thanks for watching. Keep watching, tell your friends, and we'll see you next time.